Before going to Sen's funhouse, returning to Firelink reveals that it was a mistake to trust a character with a laugh like this. The murder of the Firekeeper by Lortrek is bound to get even the most emotionless players invested in the quest. Firelink is the central hub of the game, and it's the closest thing you have to a home, and your connection to this place has now been severed in the most grisly way possible. Sen's Fortress has this great foreboding atmosphere as you approach it, and its interior keeps you in the dark. Right out of the gate, the fortress reveals what you can expect to see from the rest of the level. This is a gauntlet of snakemen and traps. The snakemen offer more of a challenge than the undead the player has been fighting so far. They have some quick attacks, but they also have some really slow wind-up times. These giant pendulum blades can be a real pain on your first time going through this area, but all that's really required of you is to time your movement while paying attention to the blade's movement as well. The lightning snakemen are obnoxious, but this one is very satisfying to kill with one of the pressure plate traps. Snakes sleep roughly 16 hours every day. This makes them a horrible choice for a security job that requires constant surveillance. However, they are perfect for Looney Tunes skits. The scripted sequence reveals to the player that Sen's Fortress also doubles as a factory for funny balls. The rolling balls of doom mixed with the blades and traps can make this place feel more like a Mario level instead of an actual practical building, but I think the lore does a decent enough job at contextualizing this place. Sen's Fortress serves as a gauntlet to test undead attempting to reach Anor Londo, so it makes sense for it to be filled with these narrow bridges and all these deadly traps. I mean, medieval castles were designed to defend residents, and they also house some traps, so Sen's Fortress is just taking that to the extreme.
Oh ho! Ah, where did you come from? Splendid news, I tell you.
We run into the greatest Enlightenment thinker of our time, stuck between some balls and a hard place, but he'll find his way out. He's not alone in this struggle, because making your way through this area with the funny ball slide is an absolute nightmare. It wouldn't be a Dark Souls area without a little jank. The worst part about getting knocked down by the balls is that there's a good chance that when your character finally gets up, you'll just get knocked down again. Sen's Fortress is the epitome of hostile architecture. It is the Overlook Hotel, and you are trapped in its maze. The best course of action is to go down and not up, because if we head down, you'll find this ball pit, and once it fills up, a ball will run into the wall and you'll be rewarded with an item. I'm a sucker for this kind of stuff. I know it's kind of cliche almost to have the, you broke the wall and you got an item. But you get that jingle and it's just the most satisfying thing ever. I like getting to feel like Indiana Jones. I like being a treasure hunter. It's cool. And Sen's Fortress is just full of this kind of stuff. There's all these items that are just out of reach, and once you figure out how to navigate the area and get to this stuff, it's just a great feeling. If we turn at the ball pit, it will lead us to the path forward. Bloodstains not only serve as a useful tool for new players, but also work as a great source of comedy. It only makes sense that the fortress held together with blades and wily coyote traps also hosts the first mimic in the game. The mimics have this creepy laugh and they move around in a very unsettling manner, but they also look a little goofy. There is this duality to the tone of Dark Souls. There is always some humor to be found in the most frustrating or even creepy moments. The nice thing about mimics is that they aren't a complete trial and error enemy, because if you exercise a little bit of caution and look at the chest, you can actually see them breathing. Some more awareness of your surroundings is required with this elevator. That blood isn't there for no reason. Finally, the funny balls can't hurt us anymore. This room with the window has always been really cozy to me, and I feel like this must have been what From Software intended, since this area was placed just after all these traps. It provides a nice moment of peace, and you'll want to take it in, because we are about to go through the last hurdle of traps. The giant row of blades is intimidating, but it doesn't really take much to realize that all that is required is to just commit to a sprint. This bridge is still stressful for me most of the time because I fidget and wobble a lot, but as long as you have a low blood alcohol concentration, you should be fine. Outside we can reach this hidden bonfire, and this is when the fortress finally eases up a little. There's this giant that keeps throwing funny balls, but it's pretty easy to just ignore him. Making this jump is honestly the most challenging part of the fortress, but you are rewarded with getting to interact with a Debbie Downer shopkeeper. fun fact about the Crestfallen Merchant is that, to make him appear taller, the developers just made him float a little, since the NPCs share the same character creator as the player characters, and there's no way to adjust the height. I find this very endearing. It's a clever way to get around the model restrictions, but it also looks really silly once you notice he's just hovering there. The Crestfallen offers overpriced goods and pessimistic comments, but the tower he resides in holds a key that we'll need. Even though it appears like a small little fort compared to the other areas, Sen Fortress I feel like really shows the devs trying to see how many things they can cram into a space. For instance, I forgot to mention the tar pit below with all the demons. I don't know how I forgot about that. I don't think I want to talk about the tar pit. Changing the direction of the ball device lets us interrupt the nap of the snake and also free Big Hat Logan. His hat is nice, and he's got great quests, but that's nothing compared to this view. I don't like killing these giants. They are abused and forced to work, and I especially feel bad because they get so tired trying to fight you. Luckily, you could just break this guy's ammunition and he won't be able to throw anything at you. He just kind of stands there and watches you break the ankles of the boss. The Iron Golem is the perfect representation of the fortress as a whole. It seems intimidating, but that's just its appearance. I've been talking about how scary of an obstacle course this level is, but the truth is I've spent so much time on this game that it's pretty easy to just run past it all. I don't think this means Sen Fortress is an easy level, because that would be an unfair judgment to make since I've spent so much time on this game. Even if it's easy, it's still a fun level to navigate. Same goes for the boss. The Iron Golem is one of my favorite fights in the game because of the gimmick of making it lose its balance. It's a lot of fun, and it works alongside the music really well to make this fight feel like a great spectacle. And that's what Dark Souls is all about. It's not trying to kick your ass or trying to get you to feel bad about yourself. It just wants to hit you in the feels. It wants to make you happy, make you laugh, make you a little sad. Or maybe it does just hate you.